to the quake's epicenter. Well, listen to this woman who says people in Sendai are still terrified.
There were some people staying in a car because we still feel aftershocks. They prefer to stay in a car. It's severely cold, no heater, of course, but they prefer stay in a car. After I saw the people who got lost their homes or the people who still needing help, I think most of them, they are the ones who need help. So we can hang in there. I hope. We don't have any electric, water, gas, and the city just announced it could take 30 days to get gas set up for everybody. But we definitely need water and food. But please help the people who lost their homes, and still people, I saw the news, still people in top of the building asking for help.
Yasu Shoemaker actually lives in Hawaii, but she was visiting her mother there in Sendai, and now they're all there together. The massive quake was centered about 80 miles from Sendai. Roads and buildings cracked and crumbled as far as 125 miles away. And some of the most amazing pictures and video from Japan's disaster have actually come from people who have lived through it. Let's bring in CNN's reeked with more on what viewers are sending.
Yeah, Fred, I'm looking right now at our iReport page, and we saw this photo, and we wanted to get in touch with the woman who took it. What you're seeing here are people in a long line at a city hall in a small town northeast of Tokyo. They are waiting for water, and the person who took that is Sarah Feinerman. She's on the phone with us. She is a school teacher. She teaches English there. Sarah, I know it's very early in the morning where you are. Thank you so much for calling into us. Tell me about this photo that you took. How long were these people waiting for water?
It looks a lot worse than it is. I showed up at about 4 p.m. and the picture cuts off at about where the end of the line was. And they said they were going to be there providing water from the trucks until 10 p.m. And so I went back and got my car to drive over because I thought, oh no, this is going to take forever. But I brought 4 jugs with me, and I was actually in and out in under a half an hour. It was extremely efficient.
Wow. Okay, so this is the only way right now that you're able to get fresh water is to stand in these lines at these various city halls around the towns there in the rural area outside of Tokyo?
Exactly. That's what we've got.
And how much are you allowed to get at a time? Is it enough to survive for the next day or so?
I thought there would be a limit, so I only brought 4 because I didn't want to be greedy because I live alone. But there were people behind me that had huge buckets and trash cans and things. And there were no questions asked, just fill up your bucket. And so I think it's just whatever you want to do, just pretty deep.
Sarah, I'm going to show another photo that you took that you sent into iReport. This is of empty shelves on one side. That's where the food would usually be. And on the other, all the school supplies and tools that no one really needs right now. How are you feeding yourself?
It was exciting at first. The first day I lived on peanuts that I found at a liquor store across the city. And then they actually lived next door to a drugstore. And by was it yesterday? Yeah, by the late evening of the second day, they had actually this system where they had like trays and tables from inside the store. They didn't let people go in, so they brought the food out to them. And they would hand out baskets, and people would go down and take what they offered. But it was like tea and noodles was basically your options. And
you said this is the first time in your life that you've had to experience the feeling of being hungry, of not having water at your disposal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm showing another photo here. This is, I believe, outside, and by the way, I should mention that you're in Ishioka City, again, northeast of Tokyo. And this is showing the street with the cones, and you can see that fissure in the middle of the street. This is outside the police station. Are there emergency services being offered right now? Is there a need for that in your immediate area?
I don't believe so. Yeah, as far as like broken gas lines and water pipes and things, I have not heard anything. I have not seen anything. That doesn't mean it's not there. But it means that they're probably handling it pretty well.
Sarah, it sounds like you are resilient. I know that many times in your iReport you talk about the resiliency of the people around you. You're able to laugh with us, to be spirited even this early in the morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, actually. Thank you very much. Everyone around is absolutely wonderful, and I could use water, but other than that, I can't really complain. Still got a house, so.
Sarah, you have a very positive attitude, and it seems to match the people who are around you. Again, we appreciate talking to us. And Fred, there you go. Another sign of that resiliency we've been talking about. You can find more reports like Sarah's by going to iReport.com. We certainly appreciate anyone who's in the area, if it's safe to do so, to send in some video and photos as well.
All right, Reggie, thanks so much for bringing us that. And, of course, we'll be bringing you more reports at home right here on CNN. Anderson Cooper reports live from Japan along with Sanjay Gupta, Soledad O'Brien, in a special Anderson Cooper 360 beginning tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And to find out about the ongoing recovery efforts in Japan and how you can help quake victims, visit our Impact Your World page. That's at cnn.com/impact. All right, Americans are helping with medical needs in Japan. What one group is doing next.
If you live for performance, upgrade to Castrol Edge Advanced Synthetic Oil. It outperforms in the world's toughest industry tests. Castrol Edge. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
A song by Paul Beckman. Palu Rainbow song. Using A minor, F major 7, and G7. The song's going to be called. Things are going to be tough in Japan for a long, long time. Things are going to be tough in Japan for a long, long time, long, long time. Well, things are going to be tough in Japan for a long, long time. For a long, long time. What can the rest of the world do to help? May we be of assistance now? Just tell us what to do. Our hearts go out in compassion to the populace, the missing, the dead, the surviving too. We live now in a land of devastation. Destruction everywhere you look. It's gonna take some time to get your infrastructure together. Not as simple as reading a book. Oh, Mother Nature really pounced on you. Oh, Mother Nature really pounced on you. I hope the Japanese can be as resilient as they're spoken to be. They're gonna need to be. They're without water, electricity, and gas now. Some amenities of the modern world. Oh, I hope you'll be okay now. Come on, world, what can we do? Well, the United States has sent some ships with helicopters and they're helping out. Other countries, I'm sure, are doing the same. Japan might be down and out, but it's just a game. Sooner or later, you'll be strong again. You'll be an economic power to be reckoned with, because you're so resilient. Every Japanese person said, I'm sure they can do it. Oh yeah, now our hearts go out to you. 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 What can we do to help you? To help you.
Actually sank. Hundreds more were damaged. They're in the process of cleaning up the damage right now. Some dredging equipment has also been brought in to help lift the boats from the ocean floor. Residents of northern New Jersey are hoping today could be the start of a drying trend. Days of heavy rain have soaked the state. Evacuated residents in Red Cross shelters now want to go home, but there's still major flooding in the cities of Patterson and Wayne, where two big rivers crested overnight. And in Yemen, security forces fired guns and tear gas at protesters today. At least 10 people are said to be wounded, another 100 sickened. Protesters are angry over high unemployment and what they see as a lack of political freedom. And Libyan rebels say they have pulled out of the town of Al Brega, calling it a tactical retreat. But forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi say they recaptured the town after days of fighting. CNN's Nick Robertson says it's unclear where the front line is in this civil war. In Bahrain, more violent anti-government protests. Police fired tear gas at one of several demonstrations in the kingdom's capital. In another protest, several people were hurt at Bahrain University when supporters of the royal family faced off with student protesters. Bahrain's government denies that any unjustified force was used against the protesters. Offers of help are pouring into Japan. International Medical Corps is a U.S.-based group that already has people in Tokyo. And spokeswoman Margaret Aguirre joins us now by phone from Los Angeles. So, Margaret, what kind of help is your group providing?
Well, right now, International Medical Corps really wants to be able to support the local agencies, the local health authorities in the work that they're doing. Japan, as we all know, has very strong emergency management systems, and so we really want to be able to support that. That means providing technical expertise as well as logistical support.
Now, Japan, while it welcomes a lot of support and help, it's being very specific about who it wants to help and where. Are you getting any kind of directive yet?
Well, we've just arrived there. So we're just beginning the coordination and really looking for, in addition to local officials, also local partners whom we can really supplement their activities. You know, a lot of times in these situations, there are a lot of groups that go in or people who want to help. It really has to be the right kind of help. So we're really trying to focus on giving them the kind of help that they need most.
And what kind of help would that be?
Right now, again, it's logistics, supplies, helping them get, the proper medicines, and then the expertise they're going to need for the kinds of, health issues that they're going to be facing. People need the basics. They need water, they need food, they need blankets, but they also need certain kinds of medications and surgical.
And are you clear on what kind of injuries that you might be able to assist in?
Right. Generally, what we see in situations like this, as what we saw in after the Indian Ocean tsunami, was you see a lot of crush injuries, a lot of trauma, broken limbs. So it's going to be similar to that. We're also expecting that because water and food may be contaminated and clean water is hard to come by, that we may, start to see disease outbreaks. But, we're looking at those kinds of things, exposure. It can get very cold at night, I understand, in Sendai, and so we're going to be looking at that as well.
Margaret Aguirre with the International Medical Corps, thanks so much for your time and all the best. To find out about the ongoing recovery efforts in Japan and how you can help quake victims, visit our Impact Your World page. That's at cnn.com/impact.